All right, guys. So we're 5 days in to November, and I just wanted to get your take on something here that I've been reading and following. So on the SNAP benefits, which here in California is called CalFresh, that's the food benefits. One person gets $198 a month max. That's like the max amount. And then it goes up from there. Two people in the household, three people in the household, and, the amounts go up. But they said because of the federal shutdown, the government shutdown, that they aren't able to pay SNAP benefits or food benefits for the month of November. And then there was the judge who ordered that, look, you have to pay them. The federal judge said to the president, you got to pay them. Now, President Trump had said, and I read, or at least he was reported as saying, that he would go ahead and use some type of emergency fund to pay a partial amount to each SNAP benefit holder. He said, okay, I'll pay a partial. We're going to just pay partial. We'll give him a little bit here. And then now all of a sudden, President Trump is saying, we're not paying anything. Nobody on SNAP or CalFresh here is getting their benefits until the government opens up. While the government is shut down, we're not paying out SNAP benefits. Now, I've heard that what happens, though, is each state maintains their own SNAP program. Like I said, here in California, it's called CalFresh. And so the states pay out their recipients, and the federal government reimburses them through that fund. That's what I've heard. I didn't really do a deep dive on it, but I know it is a federal program, but each state runs this federal program in their state. It's kind of interesting web of, intricate web. And so if that be true that Governor Newsom here is blaming President Trump and the federal government that people aren't getting their CalFresh benefits, and if it be true, he could pay the CalFresh and just have the federal government reimburse him, I guess, right? So there are people that may know more about that. But I want to know what you think about the fact of the president saying, all right, we'll pay a partial amount, and then going, oh, we're not paying anything. Not till the government opens up. And a lot of people are blaming Trump for this when you really want to know what? It's a lot of the Democratic politicians that are holding up the government. It's not President Trump, it's the Democrats that are holding up a lot of this government shutdown by not wanting to go through with the big, beautiful bill. And that's where all this comes from, is the big, beautiful bill has caused this big, beautiful mess. But the bottom line on the SNAP benefits, the food benefits, is that maybe the states could pay and just have the federal government reimburse them. But do the states have the money to just pay it out? I don't know. California's had the fires and all this, and we're hurting financially in this state. Of course, we got the worst governor in the United States. I don't know. I want to know what you all think. Let me know.